A very good morning to all of you. In this class, I am going to start with another important topic of chapter molecular basis of inheritance, and the topic is searching of genetic material. So before going to start, first revise our previous class content. That in previous class we have already discussed about the DNA, the genetic material, structure of DNA, and the structure of DNA given by the Watson-Crick on the basis of the X-ray diffraction done by the Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin. So, according to the Watson and Crick, the structure of DNA mainly the DNA molecule formed by the two polynucleotide chain. Both the chains are anti-parallel in each other, and these two chains are held together by the hydrogen bond which is present in between the nitrogenous bases. If we study about the structure of DNA, the structure of DNA mainly formed by the polynucleotide chain, and each nucleotide consists of three components. The nitrogenous bases, there are two type of nitrogenous bases are present in the polynucleotide chain. These are purine or pyrimidine. Purines are adenine and guanine, and pyrimidines are simply cytosine and thymine in case of DNA, where in case of RNA the thymine replaced by uracil. Now except the nitrogenous base, the two more components are also present in the nucleotide. These components are pentose sugar, because the DNA is deoxyribose nucleic acid. So according to the name, the actually deoxy, that means the pentose sugar lacks the hydroxyl group on the 2' position. That's why the DNA is known as the deoxyribose nucleic acid, because the pentose sugar is ribose sugar, but they lack a 2' hydroxyl group on 2' position. Now the last component is phosphate. They form the phosphodiester bond because the synthesis of DNA molecule always takes place in 5' to 3' in direction. So the phosphate group is the medium which they connect the two nucleotide, one from the 5' to they connect the 5' of nucleotide to the 3' of nucleotide, that carbon of pentose sugar. So that's why the phosphate group forms the phosphodiester bond in between the two nucleotide. The phosphodiester bond, that means phosphate involved in the formation of the diester bond. Now another bond is most important, the N-glycosidic linkage, which is present in between the nitrogenous base and the pentose sugar. Now that the glycosidic, that means glucose or the carbohydrate involved during the formation of bond, or N-glycosidic, that is mainly denotes the nitrogenous base. The bond in between the nitrogenous base, nitrogen involved in the formation of the bond, that's why the bond is known as N-glycosidic linkage. Now overall view, if we talk about the diameter and the structure of bDNA, the length of one coil in bDNA, because bDNA are right-handed DNA, and the length of one coil of bDNA is 34 angstrom, or the length in between the two nitrogenous bases are 3.4 angstrom, and the number of nitrogenous bases, base pair, also said to be base pair, present in between the one coil of DNA molecule or double helical structure are 10 base pairs are present. So overall the length of DNA molecule in human in haploid genetic material said to be haploid DNA are the 3.3 into 10 to power 9. But if we talk about the diploid content, just double the genetic material become just double, 6.6 into 10 to power 9. And due to the presence of these huge DNA base pairs, actually this represents the base pair actually, or due to this reason the human genetic is so wide, or due to the presence of nitrogenous bases, the number of nitrogenous bases. But most of the nitrogenous bases form the repetitive sequence, and they are not active. Generally they are not active. Now the nucleus, some region of nucleus have the highly condensed chromosome or highly condensed chromatin fiber, because they generally not undergoes in the transcription process. They are less active or also said to be inactive on the basis of transcription. Now these chromosomes are known as heterochromatin because they are transcriptionally inactive. But the small section of chromosome which are present in nucleus are undergoes in transcription for the formation of certain required enzyme and proteins, and they are known as the euchromatin only. So on the basis of presence of activity of chromosome, or the large portion of the chromosome become inactive or shows the repetitive sequence or tandem repeats of DNA, also shows due to these repetitive sequence, or actually they are less active, but almost 99% of the 99.9% of the chromosome or DNA molecule are similar in all the human being, or rest 0.1 only percent can differ in structure only, or that differentiation only involved in the variation in the human being or characteristic or nature they found the character. So only 0.1% of the DNA are quite different from the the other organism, from the human population, or in the human population, sorry, in the human population. So overall only there are two reasons in the search of DNA. In the search of DNA start, or genetic material start during the or was started in 1926, actually 1926, and 1926 May Miescher or some of the scientists who discovered, Miescher actually discovered the chromatin fibers in the in the nucleus, and he gave the name to it nuclein. But later on, because of the discovery of Mendel, T.H. Morgan also discovered the genetic material, but they are not fully gave the proof of the genetic material according to the Mendel's law of inheritance. He gave the factor, but certain conclusion was made by the Mendel about the inheritance only, but not the genetic material. In the previous time, in 1928 approximately, where the searching of DNA continued, searching of genetic material. Genetic material was done by the different scientists. So at that time, in 1928, the Frederick Griffith was actually conducting so many experiments in 1929, and he gave the transforming principle. Transforming principle given by Frederick Griffith in 1928. Frederick Griffith in 1928. According to him, he was conducting their experiment on Streptococcus pneumoniae, and which is the cause of the pneumonia in the human being, or also in the conducting experiments on the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Experiment, or did the experiment on a bacteria Streptococcus pneumoniae. Now, when he was doing experiment, on the Streptococcus pneumoniae. He observed the one type of Streptococcus pneumoniae converted or transformed into another type of Streptococcus pneumoniae, and thus he given the transforming principle. According to the Frederick Griffith, when he was conducting the when he was conducting the experiment on the Streptococcus pneumoniae, and he observed the two type of Streptococcus pneumoniae in the culturing medium. The first is R type of strain. R type of strain, or in the R type strain, these strain are actually do not form any polysaccharide coat, or do not form any polysaccharide coat over the cell wall. So due to they appear in rough like appearance on the cell wall, rough like appearance of the cell wall, or due to they look like rough rough type of bacteria. So they consider these type of bacteria R type and R type for rough type of strain, where the polysaccharide from these type of bacteria do not synthesize over the cell wall of the bacteria, or so the appearance of these bacteria look like rough in texture or rough in manner. So that's why they consider as a rough type of strain. Now second strain he observed is S type of strain. S type of strain. In the S type of strain, they synthesize this type of streptococci, synthesize the polysaccharide coating, polysaccharide coat on the cell wall or over the body of the bacteria itself, on the cell wall. So the appearance of these type of bacteria, because of the synthesis of the polysaccharide on the cell wall, so they appear, the appearance of this type of bacteria are quite smooth as compared to the rough type, because of the polysaccharide, mucopolysaccharide synthesized by this type of bacteria that are considered as mucopolysaccharide, because they the mucus actually have the polysaccharide in it, or the sugar in it. So that's why the appearance of this type of bacteria due to the mucus look like smooth in texture. The appearance of this type of bacteria, that's why this type of bacteria are known as streptococci, are known as a smooth type of strain, or considered as a smooth type of strain. So when he was doing the experiment on the Streptococcus pneumoniae, he was observed there are two type of strain, R type, which do not are not able to synthesize the mucopolysaccharide over the cell wall, or the smooth type of bacteria, actually they are able to synthesize the mucopolysaccharide over the cell wall. So they are look in smooth in texture, or that's why. But due to this reason, due to the synthesis of these polysaccharide or mucopolysaccharide, the nature of these bacteria also changed. When he inject the rough type of or R strain or rough type of strain in mice, the mice actually no any cause of pneumonia observed in the mice, or that's why the mice actually still alive, in the form of alive, they life form में रहेंगे because of the because they are non-virulent, the R strain due to the because they are not able to synthesize the mucopolysaccharide over the cell wall of the or the polysaccharide coat over the cell wall of the bacteria or over the cell wall. So that type of bacteria converted into the non-virulent, or that's why when he injected the rough type of strength in the mice still in the alive form, because they do not cause any disease or pneumonia in the mice, or that's why they are considered this type of bacteria as non-virulent, because they do not cause any disease in the mice. Now what actually happened with the second experiment? In the second, this was the first experiment in which the R strain do not cause any pneumonia in such type of mice. That's why they consider as a non-virulent strain, and the mice still alive in the form of alive, or actually do not show any type of disease, or that's why they consider as non-virulent. Now what happened with the second experiment? When he was injected the second smooth type of bacteria. Now in the smooth type of bacteria, what happened with their experiment? In the second experiment, when he inject the smooth type of bacteria or smooth type strain, he in the mice, he observed that mice get die, become die. Now he considered that the mucopolysaccharide, actually the mucopolysaccharide which was synthesized by the which are synthesizing by this type of bacteria, actually cause of the death of these mice. So they consider this type of bacteria as a virulent type of bacteria, because they are highly dangerous and they cause disease, pneumonia in the mice, or that's why the mice become die. Now what happened with the third experiment did by the Griffith? When Griffith did the third experiment, then he killed both the strain. That means the R strain actually killed R strain. And killed the R strain, that R strains are not in a live form, and when they inject this kill type of R strain into the mice in the alive form, and he considered separate, he again killed the S strain because they are non-virulent, so mice still alive in form, because they in the live form they do not form any disease. So in the killed strain they also didn't cause any type of disease in the mice. But when he killed R strain, then inject into the mice, the mice still in alive form, because the S strains are not able to cause any type of disease. Now in the fourth experiment, what he did, he was taken the R strain in live form, R strain, live R strain, and add in it the killed S strain, then inject into the mice. So mice become died. What happened? The disease causing S strain was actually killed by the heating method, but R strain, which generally was not causing any disease or pneumonia in the mice, they are non-virulent type. They are virulent, but they are kill type. So what happened with this type in this experiment? Because in the previous experiment, when he killed the S strain and then injected in the mice, actually killed S strain do not cause any disease or pneumonia in the mice. So that's why the mice become alive in form, live form में रहेंगे. But when he taken the R form, because they do not form any disease, do not causing any disease in the mice, and when he add the killed S strain and mix to form the injection in the form of injection that he was injected into the mice, actually what happened, the mice become died. Now he gave the, according to this whole experiment, he gave the transforming principle. What is the transforming principle according to the Frederick Griffith? That the R strain, which was in live form, actually have the constituent of the virulent form. That means the killed S strain have the some constituent or some the genetic material and some form of the virulent constituent. So that's why when R strain received the such type of material which actually have we generally have the S strain, and because of this nature or because of the mucopolysaccharide, or they are able to cause the pneumonia in the mice, actually that is taken by the R strain, and simply the R strain converted into the S type of strain. So they are able to synthesize the mucopolysaccharide. That's why the mice they cause the pneumonia in the mice, or that's why the mice become die. Or this is the reason behind the killing of or die of the mice, causing of the pneumonia in the mice, because the R strain have such material. So that material are needed to conversion of R into the S strain, or the R strain get transformed into the S strain, and that's why he gave the transforming principle according to the Frederick Griffith. The R strain converted or transformed into the S strain. That's why they become non-virulent to the virulent form. Or from non-virulent to the virulent form, there is only one difference in between both the strain, that S type of strain can synthesize the mucopolysaccharide, while the R type of strains are not able to synthesize such type of mucopolysaccharide or the coating over it. So they are not virulent or non-virulent, but due to the synthesis of the mucopolysaccharide, the S type of strains are virulent type of streptococci pneumoniae. or that's why they cause the pneumonia in the mice, or they actually do not resist by the mice because of their coating of the mucopolysaccharide. And when the are converted into the S type, they are now able to synthesize that type of mucopolysaccharide and cause the pneumonia in the mice, or that's why the mice will become died in nature. So overall the experiment was done by the Frederick Griffith in 1928, or in 1928 after the Mendel's law of inheritance and the T.H. Morgan experiment that was conducted on the linkage, or gave the linkage or recombination by T.H. Morgan, or and the Gregor or Mendel also given the law of dominance and law of segregation. He actually the Mendel was given that, and the conclusion given by the Mendel was actually some factors are responsible to transfer the genetic material from one generation, genetic trait from one generation to another generation. And genetic trait or trait of particular individual or parents transfer into their offspring by the factor. Or when T.H. Morgan did the same experiment, he concluded that if both the factors or genes are so close to each other, so they are not able to transform into their offspring, or that's why some in the offspring the recombinant character which was given in by the Mendel in the dihybrid cross actually not formed in the T.H. Morgan due to the linkage. Now Sutton and Boveri discovered the chromosome, the color body inside the nucleus, and he gave the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Now after this, in 1928 the Frederick Griffith experiment totally explain that some are the material which are important in the conversion of or in the formation of the individual, or that material are responsible for the variation in two individual, or also transfer of genetic material, transfer of the genetic trait from one generation to another generation. But the biochemical analysis of these actually behind the transformation of the R strain into the S strain was not given by the Frederick Griffith. Frederick Griffith only gave the experiment conclusion of their experiment is actually the R strain are able to transform or convert into the S type of strain. Now they are able to synthesize the mucopolysaccharide, that's why they are converted into the S type of strain. Or there is only one difference in between the R or S strain, that is they are the texture of the appearance of these bacteria are smooth type, or where the appearance of these bacteria are rough type, and they look the appearance of these type of bacteria are smooth because smooth in appearance because of the synthesis of mucopolysaccharide. So only one difference in between the two type of bacteria, R or S type of strain, and due to the synthesis of mucopolysaccharide they are able to cause the disease in the mice. So that's why they according to the Griffith experiment, they concluded that the R strain now converted into the S strain, they are able to synthesize the mucopolysaccharide, but what makes them into the S strain not given by the Frederick Griffith. Now this experiment, the biochemical proof of this experiment, what make them R strain into the S strain, was done by the three scientists. Later the biochemical analysis of that Griffith experiment or transforming principle done by the Oswald, Colleen and the different scientists, certain science, which we will discuss in next class. So here is overall the conclusion, or overall the experiment of the Griffith was did in 1928, that is transforming principle. He gave the transforming principle, and according to him the R type of strain converted into the S type of strain, or what makes them them that the R strain are able to transform into the S type of strain was not given by the Griffith. This was given by the different scientists. Now I hope you like this video. So the next experiment we have discussed in next class. So we have to discuss in next class. So I hope you like this video. Student, thank you for listening and watching.